Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video, and today I'm taking a look at the 4th Doctor, issue 4 out of 5. Issue 4, you got the TARDIS barcode, Titan Comics, who it's written by and the artists and things along that line. New adventures with the 4th Doctor, Doctor Who logo, Doctor there, Doctor Who there, and then you got this awesome picture of Tom, which at first I didn't really like this cover, but it's grown on me and I actually quite like it. I think the purple really works with the sort of Hammer horror-y feel of Tom Baker's era, or at least his early years anyway, / his best sort of years. And I think the pose is very 4th Doctor-esque and that, but I also quite like the fact that we finally see a full shot of the Sonic on the front cover, and the TARDIS as well in the background. On the back we have a fantastic promo advertisement-y thing for the new Torchwood series, which I think is a 5-part mini-series. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on that, but this is also by Titan Comics, so obviously that's why they're advertising it here. And I might be getting these, I don't fully know, but if I do, I will be reviewing them on the channel, so don't worry about that. On the back here you've got advertisements for the other comics you can get, and just, you can download these digitally. Then you've got this very obscure 2-page thing about the Cybermen with the 4th Doctor, which I've not read. And the Cybermen look very like that Cyberman from that thing they were going to do for like the 40th anniversary but didn't do. I think it was something like a thing around like these Cybermen. I can't remember what it is. It's really weird and obscure. And then you've got this one with the 8th Doctor and that, which is, yeah, again, very obscure. The variant covers of this one, of issue 4. I'd say I quite like this one, but then again, Sarah doesn't wear that costume, and it's very reminiscent of Pyramids of Mars, but I'd say this one's the one that I like the most, excluding that one. Probably that one, and maybe that one. I'm not a big fan of that one, or that one, really, personally. What they're selling this month, Titan Comics, variant covers of next issue, and then the standard cover, a little bit of a bio of the next issue. Doctor Who, Gears of Medusa, Part 4, writer, artist, so on, so forth, letterist, colourist, and then the cliffhanger right at the end. I adore, which panel was it? This might take some time. It's annoying. Oop. Nearly showed you the cliffhanger then. This panel, I adore this panel. I would love this as like a print, like a piece of artwork. Like, it looks that good. Like, exclude her, get rid of her and the speech bubbles. And that, because as I was reading this, I was like, this is, I think, the first time we've actually seen, or at least in the Titan Comics ones, I'm excluding the Panini DWM comic strips that are then put into those big graphic novels. I'm excluding those, but this is at least the first time, to my knowledge anyway, that we've seen a classic TARDIS interior from the Titan Comics. So, because I don't remember it ever being shown in the 8th Doctor one, but then again, you could argue maybe it's because obviously the 8th Doctor interior would be very difficult to draw, but I just adore it. It's very simplistic, but very effective, all the little scuff marks there, and it just looks so elegant and simplistic, but very effective, I adore it very much, hence the reason why I would like that, like in a, as I say, like a print, like an art print, and then you could frame it and stuff. Obviously get rid of her and the speech bubbles and look even better, personally. I mean, obviously in the context of the story she has to be there, but yeah, I like how they mention, it's self-aware, this story, that, he's going on about the people and stuff, and they're quantum locked and things along that line, and then it's funny because as soon as the Doctor started saying stuff about that, I was like, that sounds very familiar, cough, cough, wink, wink, the Weeping Angels, but it's funny because he even mentions them there, you know, in this little bit, which is good because at least they're self-aware. The writers are very much self-aware that they are inspired by the Weeping Angels. I won't go so far to say they're just ripping them off, but I also very much like the fact that the Medusa creature thing is finally talking in this issue. As don't get me wrong, it was very mysterious that in the previous ones or issues, when we did see her or see the creature, it didn't talk. So you know, it added to that very creepy eeriness. And yeah, I like how as well these balloons slash, you know, bits are you know, black with red writing and red borders to indicate, you know, evil, like tone of voice and voice and stuff. And that I adore the chemistry between her, I can't remember her name, but her, the professor's daughter and the Doctor. You know, if Sarah was to not survive this story, and they continued on the obviously she has to, but if, for example, for some weird reason, like, you know, she didn't survive this, and but they made a new series, like, you know, they continued the 5-part miniseries as an ongoing series, one every month of sorts. With the Fourth Doctor, I would love her to come back, you know, and the development of her and the Professor and that has been very subtle and has been in the background, but I think it crops up every now and then, and I feel like, I don't know, it's nice because it adds to their characters and the dimension of their background and stuff. But it is very much not at the forefront of this story. But it's very subtle how it's put there. You know, I do feel like it's always put there when the story's getting a bit slower in places. Like, it very much feels like, oh, okay, well, we've shown the monster, we've shown the Doctor, the monster, the Doctor, and Sarah. Now we need to do something else, you know, and it just so happens this is when, you know, their characters get more backstory. Her even, you know, she, from what I remember, wasn't even in the last issue, and she very much randomly just appears here. I think that's my major criticism with this issue, that she just randomly pops out of nowhere, randomly, and just all of a sudden, you know, is here in the story when she's not been in quite a few issues for some time. And that I think I'm definitely going to need to read the last issue / maybe do a, you know, back-to-back reading of all 5 of the issues when they come out, and then do, as I say, a retrospect video. I always say that in these videos, and then I've never done a retrospect video of a 5-part miniseries, which is a shame. I love the Sonic and how it's used here. I love this piece of dialogue as well. Pause here if you want to read it. It's just a magnificent piece of writing here. They very much have captured Tom Baker to a T here, and I adore that. You know, more material on a Doctor that I like is always appreciated, of course. So, you know, more material on the 8th Doctor would be nice as well. And by that I mean, why is there no ongoing series with the 8th Doctor in the comics? I'll never know. And I am very ecstatic about the 3rd Doctor coming to the comics, mainly because the first issue is written by Paul Cornell, and pretty much most of his writing I've liked. It's not all been perfect by any means, but a lot of his stories have been very good. I like just a lot of the artwork is very effective, very good and effective, and very subtle, and just works, you know. And I like how the Doctor even says later on about, I think, whereabouts is it actually? Here, you know, this bit, like, just love the artwork, and I love how, again, the Doctor's, you know, very much going on about, I can't change this point in history because it's a fixed point in time, and that it feels very much like a new series story, or some of the better elements of a new series story, but with some of the better bits of the classic series as well. So, you know, the classic Doctor Who companion, i.e. Sarah and Tom, you know, the 4th Doctor and Sarah, the more developed side characters and villain and the monster, and that it I don't know, like, what I mean is, like, how it feels very new series-esque is, it feels new series-esque in the sense that it feels kind of timey-wimey, like a Stephen Moffat-y type thing, but it's more coherent, I guess. But it's also feels very new series-esque in the sense that the Doctor tries to give the monster an ultimatum, you know, where in the classic series the Doctor would just be like, boom, I've destroyed this, you know, alien, or I've killed it, I've, you know, it's blown up the ship, or, you know, or he somehow defeats the alien in various different ways, but usually, pretty much always, never consists of, let me talk to this alien. But here he does this, and I think that's very cool, because it's like a cool thing that they do in the new series a lot, but by this point I feel like it's annoying. You know, I'll try and save this monster, maybe it's a good guy, you know. But here we finally got this chance to sort of see a new perspective of old Doctors, you know, like maybe they are more merciful than what the TV show always just showed, which was them just pretty much being not that merciful for the most part, from what I remember. And that from some of the stories in the classic series, because again, the Doctor does try and, you know, say, one, why are you here, and two, if you are trapped here, which I'm surmising you are, I'll try and, you know, give you an outing, you know, a way out, you know, where no one gets harmed. Obviously, the monster is still a monster and is horrible, and it's not, you know, just a good guy like in the new series. But again, the Doctor tries to at least reason with it, whereas in quite a lot of the 70s of Doctor Who, you know, John Pertwee and Tom Baker era, it was very much the Doctor would always just win, and, you know, would always just very much be the good guy, or the person who just, yeah, like, defeat the bad guys, or the problem would just be solved by the end, and that. But yeah, great character development, great setting, great character development, great art, you know, a lot of this is just superb, and is a must-have for anyone who's any bit the Tom Baker fan. You know, it's a brilliant historical sort of story now, with, you know, with great characters, an okay villain, brilliant monster, you know, brilliant sort of dialogue, a lot of good dialogue in this one, which is not something I often say about these comic books, but yeah, this has got some great cracking sort of witty humour here and there, which doesn't feel too forced or shoehorned in there like in the new series. It's got some good elements from the new series and some brilliant elements from the past, gelled together to make one brilliant story, and I would definitely recommend this one for anyone who's a fan of the Fourth Doctor. Thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.